It's tournament time on the hardwood. Not on the courts, but on the lanes. Welcome to the Go RVing Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Bracket survivors include Chris Barnes, Bill O'Neill, Walter Ray Williams Jr., and likely Player of the Year, Mika Koivuniemi. 4 weekends of PBA championship coverage tips off now. The great state of Indiana does many things well. Today, they combine two of their more successful passions, basketball and bowling. We welcome you to the first ever Go RVing Dick Weber PBA playoffs. And glad you're with us this Sunday. Rob Stone, PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. The 52nd season of PBA action has seen 5 first-time winners on the tour and a memory-filled campaign, primarily courtesy of Mika Koivuniemi. Today, we begin the first of 4 weeks of coverage of the final event of this season, the PBA Dick Weber playoffs. It's kind of like bowling's version of March Madness.
It really is, and as you know, the NCAA increased the field from 64 to 68 this season with 4 regions.
Not enough.
No, I need more. I need more substance. And guess what? We get it right here at the Dick Weber playoffs. We started with 156 players and 6 regions. We are now down to the final 3 in each region. Guess what? It's do or die time, Rob. Win and move on, lose and you're out. Let's take a look at our brackets. You'll see some familiar household names like Barnes, Belmonte, Mika Koivuniemi, Bill O'Neill. There's even a Walter Ray Williams Jr. sighting. There are also some surprises, and just like the NCAA tournament, watch out for upsets.
And today we will have 3 regional finals, and we begin in the East.
Ladies and gentlemen, your East Region Finals. He owns 4 PBA regional titles and won his first career PBA Tour title at the 2010 PBA World Series of Bowling Chameleon Championship, Scott Norton. He owns 1 career PBA Tour title, 2009 PBA World Champion, Tom Smallwood. A 7-time winner on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour with 1 major title, Steve Jarris.
And Jarris will bat leadoff for us. This for the East Regional Championship. High score moves on to the final 6. Beautiful shot by Jarris, and this is going to be a high-speed action with 3 players going at the same time. So Jarris starts with a strike, and now the lone lefty in our remaining 18-man field, a guy who is probably going to be Rookie of the Year. I'd be shocked if he doesn't earn it. Scott Norton from Costa Mesa, California. Leaves the 7-pin. He'll take a seat, get ready for his spare shot, and now it's Tom Smallwood's time to step up. Hello, trip 4. Smallwood takes a seat. Norton, the only one not to strike. Here's his spare effort in the first. All over the 7. Everybody's clean through first, and you heard Scott talk about get over those early TV nerves. This just his 2nd ever TV appearance for Steve Jarris. This is his 41st career TV singles appearance, and here's the arsenal he has with him today, Randy.
A rising star, the weakest or less aggressive ball in his arsenal so that he can go much straighter up the lane just outside 2nd arrow.
2 for 2 for Jarris. Well, he's dialed in early.
Rob, I predict high scores in this opening match.
Jarris predicted that as well when we spoke with him the other day. Said it's going to take a big score to get around this guy, Scott Norton. Smallwood, he was your #1 seed at the TOC, finished second to Mika Koivuniemi. Unorthodox style gets him another strike.
And you just got to love Tom Smallwood. I mean, just such an unassuming guy, yet what a season he's had. Second at Tournament of Champions for a cool $100,000, proving he's no one-hit wonder.
So spare for Scott Norton, the lone lefty to start, and Jarrison Smallwood, both tied, both with a pair of strikes to start off our East Regional Championship.
Low 2 scores are out. High score out of these 3 players will advance.
3 for 3 for Jarris. So here is Scott Norton stepping up, a lawyer by trade as well. The law offices of Scott Norton in Costa Mesa, California. He's got a case going to trial as soon as we take a look at his arsenal today as he steps up in the 3rd. Still.
Scott with the wicked siege, the strongest ball in his arsenal, and still looking for his first strike. He did hit the pocket first 2 frames. This ball goes light. Now Smallwood left lane trying to keep pace with Steve Jarris, who was perfect through 3.
Talked about the great season that Smallwood has had. 6 top 20 finishes, including 3 in the top 5, was 4th at our last PBA event, the Mark Roth Plastic Ball Championship. Norton cleans that one up again. So through 3, we're still tied atop. Jarris and Smallwood are perfect, and Norton down 23. An opening ham bone for Mr. Jarris.
And Rob, you see the 2 different angles by the right-hander. Steve Jarris going much straighter. Tom Smallwood in, circling a little bit more, both angles effective. And that's pretty much what we saw through this entire event. This oil pattern lent itself to playing the lanes a lot of different ways.
Seven pin.
Scott Norton can't buy a strike.
That's good.
Tom Smallwood's arsenal also going with the wicked siege.
And also looking for an opening 4-bagger is Smallwood.
Did you say 4-bagger?
I did. Walter Ray Williams Jr. is on the show. There, I get back to my roots, Randy.
Oh, if Scott Norton were to hear that, he would say, I strenuously object, Your Honor.
Hey, that's 2 7 pins in a row. For me.
Big hole early for Scott Norton as he's 34 back. Jarris and Tom Smallwood, well, they're perfect through 4 frames.
For 5 for Mr. Jarris. Ball change for Norton, same result.
And you know, I really thought that Scott Norton would come in here and do a lot of damage, being the only left-hander to advance to the final 18. All he had to do was create a little bit of reaction on his side of the lane, and nobody was going to bother him. Now, Tom Smallwood looking for a 5-bagger.
And finding it.
This kid's got a lot of moxie and a lot of game.
Smallwood, Jarris, perfect 5 for 5 to start us off. Here's Norton to once again try and take care of his 4th single pin spare, and he does. Steve Jarris and Tom Smallwood, perfect through 5. And we crown our first regional champ when we return to Indy and ESPN's coverage of the Go RVing Dick Weber playoffs. The Go RVing Dick Weber PBA playoffs are brought to you by the makers of Bayer Aspirin. Expect wonders. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Lumber Liquidators. Go to lumberliquidators.com for a list of our new store openings. Welcome you back to Woodland Bowl here in Indianapolis. The 28th time the PBA has stopped here. Our continuing coverage of the Go RVing Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Time now for the winning touch, brought to you by Touch of Gray. Gets rid of some gray, never all. Takes us back to earlier this season. Scott Norton captured his first career PBA title. He was your tournament leader at the Chameleon Championship. Almost dropped a 300 for us as he started the match with the first 8 strikes. Ran over Sean Rash for his first career title. But Mr. Norton in a bit of an early hole here. Nothing but spares for Norton thus far, which means he is now down 45 to both Smallwood and Jarris.
All right, good shot here. Come on. Yes.
Crack open the 6-pack for Jarris.
Shot on the break.
Yes, indeed. You hear Steve Jarris say, nice shot out of the break, and he is perfect through 6 frames. Scott Norton.
Yeah, one of 5 first-time winners on the PBA Tour this season is Norton.
Carry.
There we go. Celebrate.
All right, Scott, off the schneid. There's a little relief. A little bare pain relief right there for Scott Norton. Finally catches his first strike of this match. Remember, the low 2 scores go home. The high score out of the 3 advance.
It's terrible.
So Jarris steps up now, and Steve, nothing but strikes thus far. This was not intended to be a jinx by any means here, but what are you seeing out there on the lanes that's making it so easy for you thus far?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it easy, but you know, this whole format all week has been a sprint, and just trying to make the best shot you can, and really just trying to make sure I'm up on the correct lane at the correct time.
That conversation, we'll let Smallwood step up and take care of the 10 pin, so the first spare of the match for Smallwood, and now Jarris steps up looking for 7 in a row.
And Jarris, no stranger to perfect games. He was the 13th player in PBA history to bowl a 300 on television.
We did everything in our power to jinx him, and he was able to overcome it. Congratulations, Steve.
He fought through it. He fought through it like a true champion.
Back-to-back jacks for your lawyer, Scott Norton. And the smile returns to the 29-year-old's face.
Too little, too late.
Tom Smallwood making his 4th televised appearance of the season, 6th of his career. Back on the strike train in the 7th.
I love the way he kind of stalks to the approach. You know, he's kind of got that right shoulder lowered down there. He creeps up. He's got the half a thumb in the thumb hole and just wails on it at the bottom of the swing.
When you talk about the stalking, he is a hunter. You see the camouflage jersey he wears. He knows how to stalk. One of the many really good people out here on the tour. Very unassuming guy who admits he needs a little more of that eye of the tiger. Jarris.
Tip a little.
Oh, look out.
All right, good shot.
Left the 10 pin.
Well, at least the 7's not standing with it, and it was for just a quick moment there. You see the 7, but just the 10 standing. And now, with a spare here, Steve Jarris and Tom Smallwood, if they take it off the sheet, meaning they strike out, they will both shoot 279.
Norton can max out at 245. He's looking for a triple here in the 8th. And finds that triple.
Not a few frames yet.
Steve Jarris is already in the 250s. Tom Smallwood with a strike here will be in the high 240s. Smallwood needs to strike right here.
And he does.
And he slaps it off nicely.
Just 2 frames left here in the East Regional Championship 3-man match. Winner moves on in the Dick Weber playoffs. Coming up in a matter of minutes, the South Region, Tommy Jones, Ryan Schaefer, Randy Weiss will take to the hardwood. Here is Jarris in the 9th. And again, the momentary 7-10 leave, and the 7 will drop.
Just a little soft down lane reaction. The last 2 shots have left the weak 10 twice in a row. This could spell trouble coming down the foundation frame, 9th frame, and the 10th.
What advice would you give him?
He needs to catch it just a little bit more at the bottom of the swing to get that ball to tip just a little bit harder in the back part of the lane.
Jarris takes a seat as he takes care of his 2nd straight
Good shots.
single pin spare conversion.
Again, Steve Jarris in the 250s. Tom Smallwood is only in the 240s. So Smallwood does need to continue to strike to catch it.
And there's 4 strikes in a row for Norton.
Where was that about 6 frames ago?
And here is Tom Smallwood on his season thus far.
I finally feel like I belong here. I am where I'm supposed to be. I think I've earned everything I've got. I don't think it's not a fluke. I mean, this is my 6th show. 1 or 2 might have been flukes, but I mean, and if it is, I'd much rather be lucky than good anyway.
It's great, that little smirk there at the end. Smallwood, the native of Saginaw, Michigan. Another strike as the left leg was kicked out of the 10-pin late. Dropped it. So 3 in a row there for Smallwood after his only spare in the 6th.
Well, and with that shot right there, he actually goes around Steve Jarris by a pin. Steve Jarris now needs to strike out in the 10th frame to shoot 268. Tom Smallwood at 259 right now. But we do have a huge possibility of a tie, Rob. There you go.
Steve needed that after a pair of single pin spares.
Unfortunately, Scott Norton's day is done. The best he can shoot is only 245, and I say only 245. It's unfortunate for him, but we've seen high scores all week long, and his opponents just put it to him this game.
Not again? Can't get it twice.
Big shot coming up right here for Steve Jarris.
His 2nd effort in the 10th.
Come on, ball.
Oh.
10 won't fall.
Wow, it looked like he got it in the oil just a pinch. The ball scooted down the lane for a nasty ring and 10. It was like 9.5.
Norton takes care of the spare. Jarris's final effort in the 10th.
All right, that's 258 for Steve Jarris. Tom Smallwood needs the first strike in the 10th frame to advance. That'll put him in the 260s. If Smallwood goes 9 spare strike, we have a tie.
See, that's how it was. All right. Thanks, everyone.
I got to be honest with you, Rob. I think getting rid of the lone left-hander, I think the rest of the players that are left in this tournament are breathing a huge sigh of relief right now.
Tom Smallwood, that's what he needs to do to move on to become your East Region champion. Leaves the 7-pin.
Got to make it, and he's got a strike to tie. Anything less, Steve Jarris moves on.
Smallwood takes care of the 7, now must strike to force a tie.
Steve Jarris, 258. Scott Norton, 224. Tom Smallwood needs a strike right here for 258. Big scores early on at the Dick Weber playoffs.
No! And Jarris moves on.
He got it in a pitch, Rob, and it went 4-pin. Tom Smallwood hated this shot off his hand as soon as he let it go. He knew it was left. In disgust, turned away from it. Actually quite surprised that the ball even had a chance to hit the puck. It goes high and leaves the 4-pin. Unfortunately, he loses by 1. That man advances by 1.
Steve Jarris is your first regional champion, and he puts his name in the bracket and moves on to bowl again. Next up, we head to the South region. Brian Schaefer, the Yankee, taking on 2 South Carolina natives, former Player of the Year Tommy Jones and Randy Weiss.